Aleister Crowley was a complex and controversial figure. He was born into wealth and privilege in Victorian England. He became known as a poet, mountaineer, and magician. Crowley was also a notorious provocateur. He challenged conventional morality and religious dogma. He embraced a philosophy of self-discovery and spiritual liberation. Crowley remains an enigma. He was both revered and reviled. His life and work continue to fascinate and inspire. Crowley's legacy is multifaceted. He is considered one of the most influential figures in modern occultism. He left behind a vast body of work. His writings explored magic, mysticism, and philosophy. He developed his own system of magical practice. He called it Thelema. Crowley's influence extends beyond the realm of esotericism. He has inspired artists, musicians, and writers for generations. Edward Alexander Crowley was born in 1875. He was born in Leamington, England. His family was wealthy. His parents were devout Christians. They belonged to a strict sect called the Plymouth Brethren. Crowley's upbringing was strict and religious. He rebelled against his parents' beliefs at a young age. Crowley was a bright student. He excelled in his studies. He attended the prestigious Trinity College at Cambridge University. Crowley developed an interest in mountaineering and poetry. He published his first book of poetry while at Cambridge. Crowley's privileged upbringing gave him access to education and opportunities. However, it also instilled in him a sense of alienation. He felt stifled by the rigid morality of Victorian society. He sought solace in esoteric studies. He began to explore mysticism and the occult. In 1896, Crowley experienced a profound spiritual awakening. He was visiting Stockholm, Sweden. He had a vision. He encountered his holy guardian angel. This entity would become a guiding force in his life. This experience had a profound impact on Crowley. It solidified his interest in the occult. He dedicated himself to the pursuit of spiritual enlightenment. He believed that magic was a real and powerful force. He saw it as a tool for self-discovery and transformation. Crowley's pursuit of magical knowledge led him to the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. This was a secret society dedicated to the study and practice of magic. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn was a prominent occult organization in the late 19th century. It attracted artists, writers, and intellectuals. Notable members included poet W.B. Yeats and actress Florence Farr. Crowley joined the order in 1898. He quickly rose through its ranks. He impressed his peers with his intelligence and dedication. Crowley's time in the Golden Dawn was marked by both progress and conflict. He learned about ceremonial magic, Kabbalah, and tarot. He also clashed with other members. His personality was often seen as abrasive and arrogant. Despite the conflicts, Crowley's time in the Golden Dawn was crucial. It provided him with a solid foundation in Western esoteric traditions. It connected him with a network of occultists. These connections would shape his future endeavors. The Wanderer Crowley's Travels and Encounters. Crowley was an avid traveler. He traveled extensively throughout his life. His travels took him to Asia, North America, and Mexico. He immersed himself in different cultures. He studied various spiritual traditions. He was particularly drawn to Eastern philosophies. He saw parallels between Eastern and Western mysticism. Crowley's travels were not merely for leisure. He considered them an integral part of his magical training. He believed that experiencing different cultures and environments could broaden his perspective. He sought out spiritual teachers and teachings. He incorporated what he learned into his own system of magic. Throughout his travels, Crowley met a diverse cast of characters. He befriended fellow occultists, artists, and adventurers. He also encountered individuals who challenged his beliefs and tested his limits. These encounters helped shape his understanding of the world and his place in it. Master of Magic Crowley's occult contributions. Crowley made significant contributions to the world of occultism. He was a prolific writer. He authored numerous books and articles on magic, mysticism, and philosophy. His most famous work it is considered a cornerstone of modern magical practice. Crowley rejected traditional morality. He embraced a philosophy of self-discovery and individual liberty. His most famous saying was, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law." This phrase is often misunderstood. It is not an endorsement of hedonism or chaos. It is a call to live in alignment with one's true will. Crowley developed his own system of magic called Thelema. Thelema emphasizes personal experience and experimentation. Crowley believed that magic could be used to achieve spiritual enlightenment. He also believed it could be used to manifest one's desires in the material world. Crowley's writings and teachings continue to influence occultists and spiritual seekers today. He is considered one of the most important figures in the history of Western esotericism. The great beast Crowley's controversial reputation. Crowley was a controversial figure during his lifetime. He remains so today. He challenged social norms. He openly criticized Christianity. He advocated for sexual liberation. He used drugs to explore altered states of consciousness. The media sensationalized Crowley's life and beliefs. He was labeled the wickedest man in the world. His unconventional lifestyle and beliefs made him an easy target for scandal and condemnation. Crowley reveled in his notoriety. He cultivated an image of himself as a rebel and an outsider. He often played up his eccentricities to shock and provoke. This behavior contributed to his controversial reputation. It also overshadowed his more serious intellectual and spiritual pursuits. Despite the controversy, Crowley never wavered in his commitment to his beliefs. He saw himself as a prophet of a new age. He believed that humanity was on the cusp of a spiritual revolution. He wanted to help usher in this new era of freedom and enlightenment. Exile in Sicily, the Abbey of Thelema, and its downfall. In 1920, Crowley established the Abbey of Thelema in Cefalù, Sicily. He envisioned it as a center for magical practice and spiritual exploration. He invited followers to join him. They lived according to Thelemic principles. The Abbey of Thelema was short-lived. Crowley's unconventional lifestyle and the activities of his followers attracted unwanted attention. The Italian government expelled him from the country in 1923. The Abbey of Thelema may have been a failure, but it represents Crowley's attempt to create a community based on his beliefs. He wanted to put his philosophy into practice. The experiment may have been short-lived, but it continues to fascinate scholars and occultists today. Final years, the sunset of Amagus. Crowley spent his final years in relative obscurity. He lived in England. He continued to write and practice magic. He faced financial difficulties. His health deteriorated. He had become addicted to heroin. He struggled to maintain his once grand lifestyle. Despite the challenges, Crowley never abandoned his beliefs. He continued to correspond with followers. He worked on his autobiography. He remained a defiant figure until the end. Crowley died in 1947 at the age of 72. He died in a nursing home in Hastings, England. He was a controversial figure throughout his life. His death was no different. His passing was met with mixed reactions. Some mourned the loss of a brilliant mind. Others celebrated the demise of a wicked man. A legacy of controversy, Crowley's enduring impact. Aleister Crowley left behind a complex and contradictory legacy. He was a gifted writer, he was a charismatic leader, he was also a deeply flawed individual. He was capable of great kindness and cruelty. Crowley's influence can be seen in various fields. He inspired artists, musicians, and writers. His work continues to be studied by occultists and scholars. He remains a popular figure in popular culture. Crowley's legacy is likely to remain controversial for years to come. He was a complex figure who defied easy categorization. He was both a product of his time and a visionary who challenged the status quo. His life and work continue to fascinate and provoke. Conclusion: Aleister Crowley, saint or sinner? Aleister Crowley was a man of contradictions. He was a brilliant mind and a skilled magician. He was also a provocateur and a self-saboteur. He was capable of great love and compassion. He was also capable of cruelty and indifference. Was Crowley a saint or a sinner? The answer is not a simple one. He was both and neither. He was a complex individual who defied easy categorization. He challenged conventional morality and religious dogma. He encouraged individuals to think for themselves. He urged them to embrace their true will. Crowley's legacy is a reminder that truth is often stranger than fiction. He lived a life that was both extraordinary and tragic. He left an indelible mark on the world. He continues to fascinate and inspire generations later.